edged weapons and concealed carry. Today we're looking at carry options for various blades. It could be folding or fixed in nature for concealed carry, or at least those situations that you want to have a low profile. And so I'm going to go through the list of the most popular. This is not probably every option, but this is the highlights of the majority of that are useful and practical. And then I'm going to make some examples of what I would consider some decent blades for concealed carry and for utility and for self-defense. And then lastly, I'm going to highlight the top 5 of these options that I would think that are the most practical. So first of all, we'll start at the top of our head and work ourselves down to our feet. And what we put on our head is typically a hat. And so you can get a concealed pouch that's built into a patch, or you can actually just create your own patch compartment. On the bottom of the backing of the Velcro, you can cut a slit and you can put a very small folding blade in there. Or you could put some money in there or a handcuff key or whatever. But patches have been used by special forces for a long time to conceal messages and various very small tools. You could always use the inseam. Sometimes the seam around the headband of a hat has quite a bit of room to stuff things in. Some do not, but depending on the hat you wear, you may be able to use the seam for some very thin folding blades. And lastly, especially on boonie hats, a lot of times there's a map pocket on the top on the inside. And so you could definitely squirrel away a really lightweight folding knife in there. And the next option would be under a collar. It could be on a dress shirt, or it could be on a collar of a jacket. But there's a lot of ways you could pin a small fixed blade in the collar. You could always tape it to the bottom underneath of the collar, or there's in some cases there's a sewn-in compartment there, and so that's an option. You could go behind buttons. And so what you can do is on especially very small, types of knives. I was going to say fixed blades, but you could possibly, but it'd be easier if you just used the lanyard hole on a very small folding blade, and you connected that to the button, and then you just feed that very small diameter cording through and behind the shirt. So basically, you're concealing things using buttons. And this could be done on the cusp of the wrist of your shirts and jackets, but mostly the front, closures going down your shirt would probably be the easiest to do this. And it would be really easy, especially if you have a tie on, and so you're not going to be able to see the buttons anyways. So that would be really good. Shirt pockets. This could be, there's like shirts and jackets that have sleeves, sleeve pockets, and of course the front chest pockets. You could definitely put a little knife there. Neck knives, no doubt about it, is very popular. The next would be inside the waistband. That's basically what I do a lot. The next would be concealed in a waist pack or a band that it could be inside or outside. Your pants. It could even be like on a belt pouch. You could do a pocket carry. It could be a deep carry, like all the way in, and there's no clip showing. Or you could do something that is requiring your clip, and just clip it and just use an oversized shirt, or just untuck your shirt so that you can't see the clip. A belly band or a waist pack over or under clothing. There's some very thin waist packs, and the belly bands are typically an elastic band. They have pouches sewn in. Thigh sheaths, that's not very popular, but for some females that they don't have very many options at all, maybe you're wearing just a dress, maybe a thigh sheath would work. Ankle sheaths, they're becoming a little bit more popular. Once again, you kind of have to be okay with that, and probably the lighter weight options would be better. Boot carry, you can also lace, especially if you have a knife sheath that has various connection points. You could lace, through your boots, the actual sheath to the top portion of your boot. Some boots you could actually even attach to the side, depending on how they're actually laced and how tall they are. The next option is using your walking shoes, and once again, just lacing it through there. It would probably have to be a pretty small option. I'd go with a very small fixed blade in that situation. The next thing I would say is that things that were off body, pretty much like a backpack, a purse, or a sling, even luggage, that could always be, something that you could put stuff in. You could always use a shoulder harness, kind of like you would if you were carrying a firearm, but there's actually shoulder harnesses for like various fixed blades and even folding knives, so you have different sheath options. You can always go even further and go into specialty types of apparel. There's actually shorts, pants, shirts, and jackets that have special built-in pockets for concealing different things, and in particular, flashlights, even like collapsible batons, and of course, pocket knives. That's is definitely an option. One of the brands, for example, is like 511. 511 has various options like that. Now, in terms of different blades that I would recommend, as you're seeing some of these images here, that first knife was the Spyderco Ladybug. And they have them in different colors, and they're very small, different grinds and blade configurations. They have different steels to pick from. And that one would really do well if you're trying to do like really, really lightweight options that can be concealed because they're so super small. You can tuck them pretty much anywhere. So that's just an option. It's not going to be like the best option for self-defense by any means, but just a small utility cutting blade concealed away. That would be cool. Then next would be like the CRKT Minimalist. They have a whole litany of different blade configurations, so that would be awesome. And then the CRKT Spew would probably be something that if you wanted something just a little bit larger than the CRKT Minimalist, that would be awesome. So those are the blades, and I think of the top five the carry methods or options here. I think the neck knife option, inside the waistband option, the pocket carry, the boot carry or lace carry with either the boot or the walking shoes are going to be the top and the most practical too. It'd be the easiest on body. And of course, whatever type of backpack or purse or whatever you have, that could always be, used, secondarily. So hopefully this was interesting and helpful. There's just so many different ideas, but I really thought though that having the ability to conceal a nice edged weapon in conjunction with a firearm and a light would be very helpful.